Hi and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. We are reviewing Murder on the Orient Express. Okay, so Murder on the Orient Express is not actually an original film, it's an original book by Agatha Christie, and there's been numerous TV adaptations and film adaptations. Just somehow I've missed ever seen any of those on TV. So I came with really fresh eyes, and I'm so glad I did, because I've seen a number of reviews since then, what people are saying, and I think a lot of people have gone in to this film with baggage. Murder on the Orient Express is directed by Kenneth Branagh, and he's also one of the producers, and he's an actor in it. This is an all-star cast. It's got Johnny Depp, Michelle Pfeiffer, Daisy Ridley, Leslie Odmond, Tom Bateman, Penelope Cruz, Josh Gad, Willem Dafoe.
You're fun.
There are 13 passengers on a very lavish train, and there's a murder on the train. Kenneth Branagh's character.
My name is Hercule Poirot, and I am probably the greatest detective in the world.
And he just wants to take a break and rest for 3 days. But unfortunately, something happens. Someone dies. And this is, and so this film turns into a whodunit. And who doesn't like a whodunit film? I think about the TV series, the classic Murder, She Wrote, the Sherlock Holmes. This is definitely that. The film keeps you guessing from the beginning to the end. And well, if you come at it with fresh eyes, and I did. What I love about Kenneth Branagh's depiction of this story is his subtle nuances of telling you what's happened with each character's backstory without telling you. So there'll be lines from an actor like Michelle Pfeiffer, and you'll know about her backstory without it being in the dialogue. There'll be suggestions of what has happened, and I think Kenneth Branagh has done such a great job here with giving you backstory to all of these individual characters, and so it keeps you guessing as to who's actually done it. I mean, there's not enough time to really develop their characters, but yet he still manages to do it, because
Something about that tangle of strangers.
the way the script is written, the way the direction is given for each character, every time they're on screen, you get a little bit more into their story, into their background. In fact, other characters will tell you of another character's backstory. Again, not so much having to say it, but through the story developing, through their subtle nuances and actions and little nods and eyebrow winks. It's such a clever skill to be able to direct that way, and I think it's phenomenal that he's done the directing and acting himself, and he's taken on this great character himself as Hercule, the greatest detective.
Hercule Poirot, I do not slay the lion.
Because everybody has their, I believe everybody has their own personal favorites. For me, this was fresh, as I said, and I was amazed at how he directed it, as in the direction, but also how his character is the central focus and carries the story. And I think obviously it should be that, because he's the detective. But he cleverly doesn't do that simple whodunit, Murder, She Wrote type thing, where and I think a lot of the other TV versions do it, where the characters have to sit at the table. It uses the landscape of where they're at in their journey, so it's surrounded by beautiful vistas of great mountainscapes, and he interviews inside and outside, on top and around the train, this lavish train that's like first class, very, very expensive. No expense. If that was all there was to the film, I would still say that this film is really, really good, because of the direction and the acting, and how each actor has taken on their characters so well that even though a lot of them didn't have a lot of screen time, they were able to tell you exactly what needed to be told about their character. Even if that was all of it, I would still say this is a great film. But
He was murdered.
Good God, a murder here.
what happens is you get the whodunit bit in the first and second part of the film. So most films are divided into 3 classic acts: the beginning, middle, and end. And once you head towards the end, you want to be fully immersed into the story. And the classic whodunit, you don't want to know who done it until the end. And this does that. I was guessing. I was thinking, he did it, she did it, he did it, and I didn't know until right at the end, until I was actually told. But that's the great thing about it. It's so visually entertaining. It's such an adventure that you are constantly with them. You are on board this train. You want to know who did it. The film changes from a whodunit to, oh my gosh, this is the story behind why. And as the story fleshes itself out, I just became more and more emotionally entangled in the character's story. And when I got to the end, I was absolutely blown away by the story, not so much as the whodunit. And if I wasn't the only person in the cinema, because I had massive screens myself, which is fantastic. If I wasn't the only person in the screen, I would have stood up and clapped. If I ever meet Kenneth Branagh, I would shake his hand. Because this is a story well crafted and deserves your time and attention to go and see.
Did he have enemies?
Pick a number.
I've only given one film this year the title of masterpiece. And I probably will have to go and see this again, but I'm teetering on the edge of saying this is a masterpiece that you could study, that you can enjoy, that you can watch a few times, even though you know what's happened. On the first time, you'll know what's happened. But if you go back and watch it, you'll enjoy it for the spectacular adventure it is on a train.
Who takes up the knife?
So the film emotionally gripped me, and I wasn't expecting to be emotionally entangled in this. I was expecting to play the who did it, who was it? But in the third act, when the story is starting to be revealed, I was surprised that I was actually getting choked up. Oh no! And I think that's just down to the direction and the storytelling, and so you're along for the ride. And as the story is fleshed out and it comes to its fruition, I found myself totally in the story, and I was transported there, and I had my hand over my mouth, and I was like, no, can you believe this? And I think I was really fortunate not to have any of the baggage of not knowing what had happened before or haven't seen any of the other versions. But
still the mouth opens.
Now that I know of it, I can't wait to see it again, and I can't wait to take my wife to see it so she can experience it. I think it's fantastic, and I think it's definitely worth your 2 hours. I would say if you are maybe superheroed out, check this film out because it's really good. I'm going to put it in 2 playlists, in the masterpieces because I think it's awesome.
His masterpiece.
And in the Gorsome for great and awesome.
Great! That's just
awesome.
Awesome!
That's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was too long-winded and I didn't babble on about it. But when I get really passionate about a film, I like to talk about the points that I found that was really great about it. I hope you found this insightful and it inspires you to maybe go and watch it. Thank you for watching my review, and we've got loads others coming out. I'm going to try a new type of review coming out soon called Dad in the Kitchen, where I'm just chatting to my wife about a film I've seen. I'm going to try that out and see what you guys think. Thank you so much for joining us, and do chat to me in the comments. Let me know what you thought, if you've seen it, or if you're going to go see it, or if you've have seen the other versions. Love to know what you thought about this or how much you love the story. Love chatting to you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of the Ruby Tuesday, and look out for our other reviews. Bye. Murder on the Orient Express.